Some of the Christian churches in Germany ignored the persecution and discrimination of the Jews so they could be comfortable under the dictatorship of Hitler.
I'd probably say Jesus' disciple Matthew, when he was asked if he knew Jesus, he was asked 3 times, and all 3 times he denied knowing Jesus in order to maintain in power and comfort and not to be judged by others.
I can think of lots of times when the church should have stood up against injustice. 2 things in particular. Nazi Germany, the Lutheran church there didn't oppose that because of their influence within society, and eventually they got swallowed by Nazi Germany as a result of it. Probably the second thing is the child sex stuff within the church in recent years. There weren't enough people who would stand up and say this was wrong because they would lose their influence, their power, their position.
Christians failed to stand against evil and injustice during the time of slave trade in the United States and the British Empire, as their lives were made very comfortable by it. Thankfully, there were Christians that eventually did stand up to fight against it.
The church should follow the example of Jesus, who came not to be served but to serve. If we are followers of Christ, we should take up our cross, leave all our wants for power and gain, and follow him with every aspect of our lives.
I believe that the church should be less about power and more about service, because we follow God, who has humbled himself and come down to us, come down to our level. And his son Jesus laid aside his majesty, took up the role of a servant, and didn't go for the position of power, but wanted to instead show the place of service.
The church should definitely be about serving others as we are called to do so. We are called by Jesus to serve just as he did when he was on earth. And so likewise, the church should have a large focus on humbly serving others without expecting anything in return.
The head of the church is Jesus, and we follow his example. He has the ultimate power, as he is the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Yet when he came to earth, he came completely humbled, and as a servant, he paid the ultimate sacrifice of dying on the cross for us.